Good morning. Good old diesel truck, gentlemen. 6 o'clock in the morning. You ever notice how we oscillate between our worst selves and our greatest selves, right? Can be our worst selves and our greatest selves, but why do we keep building things up and tearing things down? How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as the best you or the worst you, right? Because there's two sides of you, two sides of me, two sides of everyone, right? There's our greatest selves when we come to this point where we achieve something that we are proud of, right? And maybe that is what makes us tear it all down, right? We've reached this point where we've gotten kind of what we went out to get. And now we're proud, and then we can get comfortable and we can relax. And then the more we get comfortable and relaxed, the more shame we feel, right? Maybe depending on how we get comfortable and how we relax. But in comfort and relaxation, we're indulging, right? And that's the beginning of tearing it down, right? That's the beginning of tearing it down. And then at one point, we get to a point where we feel anger or shame or something, and we get motivated. We want to build it back up, right? In my brain, when I reference to myself, I've had a tendency to think as myself as the best that I can be, in that I acknowledge more the sides of me that in that realm of being the best I can be, right? But now I kind of recently turned it around a little bit. Maybe who we are is really the worst that we're willing to accept. That's different for everyone, right? We have our low point and our high points within all kinds of stuff, right? When it comes to relationships, when it comes to money, when it comes to cleanliness, physical health, all this stuff. We have the lowest we're willing to accept and the highest we're willing to accept. We're in these cycles of building it up, tearing it down. And no matter what I do, I will end up tearing it down to my lowest, the lowest that I'm willing to accept, right? So really, if I don't focus on the lowest that I'm willing to accept, I'm always going to crash harder and harder and harder. Instead of pushing the best I can be, I'm going to raise up the bar of the worst that I'm willing to accept. That's the term shadow work, which I've just recently become aware of, is the concept of you being aware of your darker sides, your darker traits. Like what is it that makes me doubt or something make me think that it's not worthwhile staying up in these higher realms, right? And what is it that justifies me falling that low, right? I think you can all probably recognize that oscillation between the worst we can be and the best we can be, right? And that circle of building it up, tearing it down, building it up, tearing it down. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find that side of me that accepts the worst that I can be, that accepts that. And also I'm going to find that side of me that at that breaking point, because that's where it happens, right? When you're being the best you can be, with the highest confidence and the best performance, and then for some reason the language changes, right? And you decide to make some decisions that starts tearing it down, right? So finding that personality trait inside myself, having a dialogue with that personality trait, and then maybe getting some answers, right? Is it trauma? Is it some kind of hidden trauma? Is it some kind of dark personality, negative vibes? I think it is in that realm, because that's why we're hiding it away. That's why we're not conscious of what's actually happening. Because it's a bit of a taboo, right? Maybe the worst we can be, right? But I just found that maybe that's more interesting, really, than the best we can be. Because if we push, we can. My theory is that we can be the best we can be, because that's what we practice, that's what we aim for, that's what we're conscious about, the best we can be. That's what we focus about. At least me, what I remember is blue skies, and I always look at the glass and think it's full, no matter how much is in it, right? But it just makes sense to be aware of the worst we can be, because that's where we're going to fall, right? Like I said, you can push your best performance, but if you're not pushing your worst performance, or the worst, not your worst performance, more like the worst that you're willing to accept, the standard that you're willing to accept when it comes to everything, whatever's important to you, whatever that is, right? Physical, mental, socially, all these standards. My theory here is pushing the worst you can be might give you a better advantage than pushing the best you can be, because that's going to be where you fall to. That's always going to be where you return and where you fall to the best you can be, the worst you can be, right? Which has the most consequence in some. What you want to do is stay as long as you can in that high performance zone, in that best you can be zone, right? So instead of raising that bar, raise the lower bar to up there, so you're not falling that low, right? This is kind of the philosophy, I guess. We gotta live with our shadow, right? We gotta live and be aware of the worst side of ourselves, right? Have a dialogue with that and figure out why is that, right? And kind of maybe even accept it, let it into the good club, right? Let your dark side into the club of good, and have your dark side work for you, right? There's so much going on, so many thoughts and decisions that we're not really aware of. I'm not saying that we need to be. I'm just saying that there's some interesting correlation between your dark side and then these points where things turn for the worse, right? So we should focus on that level where we fall, that place where we fall and we decide to turn around. It's different for everyone, right? It's different for everyone. Some people, you know, it's like I said, it's many things. It's how low can you fall with your physical health, your mental health, your money, your financials, right? Your social status, all these things. It's different for everyone, right? Some people decide to turn around when they hit 4,000 in their bank account, right? Some turn around when they hit 0. Some turn around when they used all their credit, right? But what I'm saying is, whatever your minimum or your worst performance or the lowest you're willing to accept, push that up a little bit. Is what I'm going to try to do. So I'm going to try to focus on the improving the worst of me, my lowest And I guess in some way I'm grateful for being able to see and experience that, because I don't think I've been able to see who I really am unless I got to this point somehow. Does that make sense? I'm late. By the way, if you would leave a comment and a like, I would definitely appreciate it, gentlemen. I'm gonna try to do these daily. I had an epiphany in the gym. I hit the gym every day, by the way. I hit the gym every day, boys. I hit the gym every day. And I'm on the treadmill. And I'm thinking, how do I get back to producing some content that and how do we get value in this content, right? And it hit me. Do it while driving to work, to and from work, right? To and from work, I'm gonna start doing videos, and yeah, leave a like, leave a comment. I will see you guys on the tripod. I'm out.